As a psychologist, I've worked with many individuals and couples healing from the trauma of infidelity. Many have reported the importance of connecting with others who have endured this particular pain. Some have found this connection in online forums, support groups, or with someone they know personally who has healed from the betrayal of infidelity. Even through the confusion and heartache, these clients have shared that hearing the stories of others has helped them understand and validate the depth of their own pain. And sometimes even offered a glimmer of hope when so much else felt hopeless. Even through this kind of sharing is important not only for the betrayed partner, but also for the unfaithful partner. Learning in detail about the impact of the affair on the betrayed can help the unfaithful partner access a deeper well of empathy and take responsibility for how their choices have affected their partner's life. What follows is an insight into the effects of betrayal trauma. Although written from a first-person singular point of view, it's intended to serve as an amalgamation of many people, representing the common themes and issues that individuals so often experience in the devastating effects of infidelity. The narrative attempts to capture the pain, confusion, and struggle of those who have been betrayed, offering a window into the common emotional journey that many endure. I used to believe in fairy tales. Not the kind with castles and dragons, but the kind where two people find each other, fall in love and build a life together. For years I lived in my own version of that story. I had a husband I adored, a relationship I cherished, and a trust that felt unbreakable. But all that changed the day I discovered his infidelity. Now I'm living a nightmare from which I can't seem to wake up. The trauma of betrayal and the shattering of trust. The moment I found out about the betrayal, it felt like my world had imploded. The man I loved deeply, the one I trusted implicitly, had shattered the foundation of our life together. It wasn't just a betrayal of our vows, it was a betrayal of our dreams, our memories, and the future I thought we were building. The pain was immediate and intense, like a physical blow to the heart. I scrutinize his words, his actions, and even his silence, looking for hidden meanings or signs of deception. It's exhausting and it tears me apart. Since that day, my life has been a series of battles. Trust, once a given, is now a distant memory. I used to feel safe in his presence, but now every interaction is tinged with suspicion. The person who was my confidant and partner has become a source of doubt and fear. I scrutinize his words, his actions, and even his silence, looking for hidden meanings or signs of deception. It's exhausting and it's tearing me apart. The relational foundation that once sustained me is nowhere to be found. The trauma of infidelity creates a storm of emotional suffering. The desire to escape this pain is overwhelming. There are moments when I fantasize about running away, leaving everything behind and starting over. But then reality hits me. Where would I go? What would I do? This is my life and there's no easy escape from the pain and confusion that plague me. The fear is relentless. It follows me everywhere, a constant companion that refuses to let me rest. I wake up in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat, my heart pounding with nightmares of his betrayal. Sleep used to be a refuge, but now it's a battleground where I relive the pain over and over again. Some nights I lie awake for hours, haunted by images of him with someone else, questioning every aspect of our relationship. During the day, the effects of sleepless nights and chronic anxiety are painfully apparent. I struggle to concentrate on the simplest things. My mind is foggy and I feel like I'm moving through life in slow motion. Tasks that used to be second nature now require immense effort. I forget things, make mistakes, and often find myself staring blankly at a screen or piece of paper, unable to muster the energy or concentration to continue. I grieve for the trust that's been broken and for the person I used to be, someone who believed in love and trust without reservation. The grief is deep and all-consuming. It's a weight I carry with me every day, a shadow that darkens the moments that used to bring me joy. I grieve for the loss of the relationship I thought I had, the life I thought we were building. I grieve for the trust that's been broken and for the person I used to be, someone who believed in love and trust without reservation. I've never been an angry person until my husband's infidelity. The anger that consumes me now is all-consuming. It's as if a fire has broken out inside me and I don't know how to put it out. Even simple things that never bothered me before now trigger an outburst of anger, and I find myself screaming or crying over the smallest frustrations. I feel like I've turned into someone I hardly recognize. There are days when I feel like I'm drowning in all these emotions, struggling to keep my head above water. Friends and family try to offer support, but their words often feel hollow. Time heals all wounds, they say, but right now time feels like an endless stretch of suffering. Every day is a struggle, and the nights offer no respite. Another refrain from people who care about me: you should leave him. You'll never be able to trust him again. Although I understand how important trust is in a marriage, and there's a part of me that's afraid I'll never be able to trust him the way I used to, I'm not ready to give up. He has said he wants to work on us, wants to regain my trust, and for now at least, I don't want to give up either. Insecurity and persistent doubts are part of the pain of betrayal. The insecurity and disorientation are some of the hardest parts to deal with. I used to feel sure of my place in the world, but now everything feels uncertain. Was our relationship ever real? Did he ever really love me? Or was it all a lie? These questions spin endlessly in my head, leaving me dizzy and disoriented. The future feels like dark, uncharted territory, and I'm terrified of what lies ahead. I've started comparing myself to others, wondering if you would find this person more attractive or interesting. These comparisons unleash my inner critic, a vicious voice that judges me harshly. This inner bully tells me that I'm not good enough, that I must have failed in some way to hold his attention. It is a relentless assault on my self-worth, and fighting it is a daily struggle. On a rational level, I understand that I didn't cause his affair. But there are moments when my inner critic convinces me otherwise. This part of me fixates on every insecurity I've struggled with since adolescence, amplifying my self-doubt and magnifying my perceived flaws. Shame, humiliation, and the need to hide. In addition to the pain and distrust, I carry an overwhelming sense of shame. This shame isn't just a quiet inner whisper, it's a roaring voice that makes me want to hide from the world. There are days when the thought of leaving the house feels impossible, facing people, even strangers, feels unbearable. It's as if everyone I meet can see my humiliation, as if they all know my secret. A trip to the supermarket, a simple errand, becomes a maze of imagined judgment and pity. The shame of being betrayed, of being seen as someone who wasn't enough to keep her husband faithful, weighs heavily on me. It convinces me that the world is watching, that every glance is a silent confirmation of my inadequacy. This pervasive sense of exposure keeps me isolated, robbing me of the connections and normalcy that might otherwise provide comfort. Just when you're feeling better, the pain of the infidelity trauma sneaks up on you. There are fleeting moments when I lose myself and catch a glimpse of the old us before the affair. In those moments, my pain disappears and I see the man I once cared deeply for. It's as if, for a brief moment, we're back in the days when trust was implicit and our bond felt unbreakable. Maybe it's laughing together at a silly joke, or a quiet evening when conversation flows effortlessly as it once did. These moments offer a fragile, bittersweet respite from the constant heartache, allowing me to almost believe that everything is back to normal. But then reality crashes in, yanking me violently back into the present, and I am reminded of the betrayal. The illusion shatters, forcing me to deal with the fresh wave of pain, confusion, and sadness that now defines my existence. It's a cruel cycle, these brief glimpses of what was, followed by the harsh truth of what is. What I'm learning about healing from infidelity. I hate that so much of the healing journey from infidelity is being driven by my husband. The irony is that I have to rely on the person who destroyed me to rebuild something I didn't destroy. It's a cruel twist to have to rely on the very person who caused this immense pain to help heal the wounds and rebuild the trust that was lost. There are times when he seems to move forward with a nonchalance that feels like a betrayal all over again. It's as if he's trying to erase the past or minimize the impact of what happened, which only deepens my wounds. What makes it even more unbearable is when it feels like he forgets the gravity of his actions. There are times when he seems to move forward with a nonchalance that feels like betrayal all over again. It's as if he's trying to erase the past or minimize the impact of what happened, which only deepens my wounds. His moments of oblivion make me wonder if he really understands the depth of my pain or the gravity of his actions. In these moments, I feel completely alone with the suffering he's caused. Another serving of injustice dumped in my lap. This journey through betrayal and its aftermath is the hardest thing I've ever faced. If our marriage is to survive, my husband must never forget this. He needs to remember the damage his actions have caused and the ongoing struggle I have to endure. His empathy and unwavering commitment to acknowledging and dealing with this pain is crucial. Without his consistent acknowledgment of my suffering and his role in it, the fragile threads of our relationship will continue to fray. I need him to be present in my pain, to validate my feelings and to actively work towards repairing the trust he has broken. Only then can we hope to walk this tumultuous path together and perhaps find a way to heal. These are conversations we continue to have, and each time we have them, if he doesn't become defensive or dismissive, if I can feel his emotional presence and genuine remorse, I feel less alone in my pain. These discussions are giving me the slightest glimmer of hope that there is a path forward and that we may ultimately be one of the couples who successfully rebuild their relationship post-infidelity. Rich Nicastro, PhD, is a clinical psychologist based in Austin, Texas. He has over 25 years of experience working with individuals and couples. He offers teletherapy to clients throughout the United States.